What is up, beautiful people? Mr. P back with another video. So I've actually already sold 4 NIOs this month, and today I'll actually be sort of becoming a NIO sales rep and try to sell NIOs myself. Unfortunately, there's not that many people at this time of day. It's around 10:30ish, 10:40ish a.m. on a Friday. Not that many people, so actually there's nobody in the store. So we'll see. I'll set up a time lapse for you guys. And so when we're trying to sell NIOs, there's a little strategy. Of course, I'm gonna talk about the good and bad as a NIO owner myself, but then also we gotta talk about the stuff that we want to avoid. For example, ride comfort, air suspension, that kind of stuff we kind of want to avoid, because you get into the conversation of, do I choose between the ES7 or the ES6? That becomes a whole mess. Also want to avoid the topic of entertainment, because NIO's entertainment isn't that great. So let's just see what we can do and try to sell as many cars as we can. All right, and I'm gonna be holding a drink in my hand if I want to approach customers, and it'll be very casual, so that's gonna be pretty awesome. And guys, don't forget to try and test drive a NIO and use my invite code LEGPC7 if you live in Europe. Definitely go check out this new station wagon touring, ET5 touring, very good car. I have a review of it. And also, if you live in China, go test drive a NIO as well. Scan my QR code. Very fantastic cars. And also, by using my invite code, you can also chat with me privately on the NIO app, and I can tell you some recommendations, or we can just talk if you want. So that's pretty cool. So a quick update for you guys. You can tell a lot of these customers, they take everything the sales rep says with a big grain of salt. But when I approach them as a customer, they all of a sudden have a lot of dying questions that they want to ask. And me being a customer and a NIO owner who's able to share them my honest opinion and all that kind of stuff. So the results, I've talked to lots of guys. There's old guys, there's young couples, there's middle-aged couples, there's like young ladies as well. And you can tell me just going around talking to them, helping out the sales team. I got one of them to buy the car, but the other guys, they still gotta do a little bit more research. They want to compare other cars. One really interesting guy, so the old guy, he was really considering buying a EREV or a hybrid, and he wanted to buy that because he wanted the best of both worlds. You got electricity and also gasoline, and he wanted to go for that because he doesn't like charging lineups, and he also is worried about range anxiety. So I was able to tell him about everything that NIO does with the battery swap, and also upgradability of the battery and everything. And you can tell that he changed his attitude quite quickly, because when the sales rep was telling him all about it, he didn't really believe her. But I was able to convince him. I showed him some of my battery swaps, how it was all free. I showed him the charging map, etc. So he was pretty impressed, and he's considering changing his 10-year-old gas vehicle to a NIO potentially. So that's pretty nice. And some of the other couples, they were all considering buying a car. Some of them were really interested in the ET5 wagon, the ET5 touring, and they were really interested in how that car looked, and also the fact that it's the same price as the ET5. So that is definitely a very good deal for them. So the customer yesterday, so before filming this, the other customer yesterday that I convinced to buy a NIO, he really wanted to buy a Li Auto, and I had to work really hard to convince him the pros and cons of both, and then also what's good about NIO. And one really interesting thing was that customer had no idea that battery swap was fully automated. So they kind of had that kind of thinking that the battery swap was done by hand, because a lot of the e-bikes here, some of them have battery swaps, and those are all done by hand manually. He thought, well, his wife thought that battery swap was done by hand manually. So that was a very interesting point of conversation. I'm like, what, manual battery swap? How, you can't. Do you know how heavy the batteries in a NIO weigh? It's like almost a ton. It's like half a ton at least. So there's no way you can lift up one of those battery packs by hand. And so they were pleasantly interested in battery swap after I told them it's all automatic. And also that kind of tells you about the level of conversation between the sales reps. Some of them really don't know what they're talking about. Some of the sales reps, I'm sure they're very professional, they know a lot of stuff, but sometimes I think they're missing the point, right? They're talking about all the extra specs, the dimensions of the car, energy consumption, all this kind of wacky stuff, but they've missed the core points, which I think is just a big shocker to me, that one customer thought battery swap was done by hand. Now, not all customers are like that. A lot of other customers that I talk to, they really like battery swap and they already know about battery swap, but they were more interested in the effectiveness, the number of battery swap stations, that kind of stuff, and the actual usage experience from a customer's perspective. And for me as a customer, I was able to tell them how I haven't charged in like a year just battery swapping, and it saved me a ton of time and money. So that was pretty nice. Know me, go away, not talking to you. Yeah. And a lot of them are very interested in NIO right after the price cuts. So that's pretty nice. And even though you guys can tell there's not that many people in the store at first, it was quite empty, but later on customers started coming in. And I had to leave early because I had to go get lunch for my wife and my kids, and I also got some other errands to run. So I'll definitely be popping there every time I get a battery swap, try to get another car sold, try to sell a NIO. You know, and these customers and these sales reps also really love it when I go in. They can take a break, and then also because from a customer, people are more likely to trust a customer's review than a sales rep's you know, sales conversation. So that's pretty nice, and I'm definitely going to continue doing that, try to boost up the numbers. NIO's deliveries have been quite low, but you know, I'm working hard. The sales reps are working hard, and I guess this month, and this is a spoiler for my next video, this month you guys will be pleasantly surprised with delivery numbers. It's going to be very nice. Yeah, and overall I think in the future, every time I go to a new house or a new store, I'm going to try to make it a habit that I'll talk to at least one customer and try to convince them to buy the car, even if they wanted to buy something else. And I'll make that a habit of mine. And there's also one of the newer NIO houses in Beijing has recently opened up. It's not fully operational yet, but they've opened up, and you can go there and go there as a NIO owner. And that NIO house is 3 floors. I'm gonna film over there soon, and I think when I go there, I'll also help out the sales reps as well, and they seem to really like it to when a customer like me, quite knowledgeable customer, introduces the car to them. So that's pretty nice. It was pretty exhausting as well from a personal perspective, you know, just talking nonstop, walking around. But it was a pretty fun experience. I'm definitely going to do it more in the future, but I probably won't film it when I do it in the future for you guys. So yeah, that's just a quick glimpse at what it's like to be a NIO sales rep for one day. A lot of walking around, a lot of talking to customers. Also, there's phone call aspect of it, which I didn't do, but I did do a lot of customer communication inside the NIO app. When you refer someone, you also follow them on the NIO app, so follow both ways, and I'm able to talk to them and they're able to talk to me, and that way I can tell them what kind of specs to go for and what to watch out for and my recommendations, what's good, what's bad, that kind of stuff. So I did also do some of that. So yeah, cool. We're trying to get go for 30K subs by the end of this year, so every single sub helps. All right, as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.